Now we
现在我们
wind
一
it
起
up
来
and
做
hook
这
this
个
cute
可
strawberry.
爱的草莓三角
3.
的
Horned
恐龙。
dinosaur. Now let's hook the head of Triceratops. First, the first loop to the 7th loop. I use number to color thread to hook it. The first loop is a circular stitch, 6 short stitches. Circular stitching is, wrap the thread around your finger twice. First take the coil of wire. This hand holds up the thread. We can get the crochet hook like this. You can also take it like this. Depends on personal preference. Now let's start the needle. Crochet hook through loop. Hook a coil over. First make 1 loop on the crochet hook. Crochet 1 more loop. Bring out this loop directly on the crochet hook. This is the circular stitching. In the first loop, you need to hook 6 short stitches. After the needle is lifted, let's start with short crochet stitches. The short stitch is the crochet hook passed through the loop. Bring 1 coil over here. There are now 2 loops on the crochet hook. Crochet 1 more loop. Finish the 2 loops on the crochet hook. This V-shaped form here. It's just a short stitch. The first stitch of each twin. We all use 1 mark buckle. To make a mark, then hook the second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. The fifth short stitch. Sixth short stitch. After crocheting 6 short stitches, let's tighten the coil. We can count whether 1 is 6 short needles. Every V is 1 stitch, 123 4 5 6. Now let's tighten the coil. The way to close the coil is to pull off the thread. Look at which of the 2 lines is moving. It's this thread that's moving. Let's pull this thread first. Tighten this coil. Try to leave no gaps here in the middle. Then let's pull this thread. Finish this thread. Tighten the coil in this way and you are done. We can cut off this thread. We need to use a pull-out pin for each lap. To end this circle, pulling the needle is to pass the crochet needle through the first stitch. That is to say, it is marked and buckled, this location. Crochet through. Hook a coil over. This coil is brought directly out of the crochet hook, the original coil. This is a pull pin. Because of this pull-out pin for each twin, it doesn't count as 1 pin. And in order to make the connection less obvious, better looking, so we're going to tighten the pull pins. Make this pin the smallest. The method is to pull this coil. Pull in this direction. This way the pin will be very small. This completes the first lap. Now let's hook the second loop. The second circle is composed of 6 additional stitches. One has a total of 100 needles. Before each lap starts, let's hook a standing stitch first. The crochet method of the standing stitch is to wrap the crochet needle around one circle. Bring out this loop on the crochet hook. This is a standing needle. After hooking the standing stitch, we are here on the first pin. That's the pin that's being pulled out. This is the pin where we added the mug buckle. Let's hook the first additional stitch. To add stitches is to hook 2 short stitches into the same stitch. Now we crochet through the stitch that we pulled out. Hook the first short stitch. Crochet hook again through the same stitch. Then hook the second short stitch. In this way, hook 2 short stitches in the same stitch. This is a plus needle. We're here on the first pin. Add mark buckle. This is the first pin of the second circle. Then we hook the second additional stitch downwards. The third plus needle. The fourth plus needle. The fifth plus needle. Sixth additional needle. Here comes the lead pin. Don't worry about this pin. In this way, the second loop is completed. We can count 1 or 2 pins. Then use a pull-out pin to end the circle. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Lead to end the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. Completed the second lap. The third circle is composed of 6 groups. It consists of 1 short stitch and 1 extra stitch. One total is 18 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook a short needle in the place where the pull is pulled out. Add mark buckle. 1 plus needle. To add stitches is to hook 2 short stitches into the same stitch. The first group has been hooked. The second group of 1 short stitch. 1 plus needle. The second group has been hooked. In the third group, 1 short stitch and 1 extra stitch. The third group of hook is finished. Then there are 3 groups. Let's hook it up together. The third circle is hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The fourth circle is neither adding nor subtracting stitches. One total is 18 needles. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. This circle is all short stitches. Let's hook it up together. The fourth circle is hook. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The fifth circle is composed of 6 groups, 2 short needles, 1 plus stitches. 1 total 24 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. 1 plus needle. The first group has been hooked. Group 2. 2 short needles. 1 plus needle. The second group has been hooked. Then there are 4 groups. Let's hook it up together. The fifth circle is hook. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The sixth circle to the eighth circle are like one. It is to hook a short stitch on each stitch. Each loop is 24 stitches. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. These twins are all short stitches. Let's hook it up together. The eighth circle is hook. The ninth loop needs to be hooked with 1 color thread. Show here where the eighth circle leads. We're about to switch lines. The way to change the thread is to just hook the thread in directly. Now, let's demonstrate. Pass the crochet hook through this location of the mark buckle. Let's use this thread that we've used up. It's the 2 color thread that was cut off by 1. Put on crochet hook. This way you can hide the threads. Now let's start changing lines. To change the thread, you need to hook it directly with the crochet hook. I want to change this thread. That is to say, the 1 color thread is hooked in. Hook it directly. Just use 21 color thread directly. Let's hook a pull-out needle. In this way, the line change is completed, and it turns out that this number to color thread, there is also a thread in color 1 that is tightened at the same time. The 8th loop is to hook 1 short stitch into each stitch. 1 total 24 needles. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Let's hide these 2 lines. Put on crochet hook. In this way. This is the first short stitch. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. Look at the back of 1. This line here is hidden inside. We have hooked to a certain length. Hook a few more stitches, and then cut the thread. Now we can put this. 1 is thread number 1 color thread. 1 is the thread of color number 2. Because there is no need to hook the second color again, she'll cut these two out. Then we continue to hook down. This way there won't be any threads on the back. Let's finish the hook together. The 9th circle has been hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Lead to end the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The 10th circle is composed of 6 groups, 3 short needles, 1 plus stitches. 1 total is 30 stitches. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. 1 plus needle. The first group has been hooked. The second group of 3 short stitches. One plus needle. The second group has been hooked. Then there are 4 groups. Let's hook it up together. The 10th circle is hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The 11th circle is composed of 6 groups, 4 short stitches, 1 plus stitches. 1 total 36 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. 1 plus needle. The first group has been hooked. Group 2. 4 short stitches. One plus needle. The second group has been hooked. Then there are 4 groups. Let's hook it up together. The 11th circle is hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The 12th circle is composed of 6 groups, 5 short stitches, 1 plus stitches. 1 total is 42 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Crochet 5 short stitches. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. The fifth short stitch. 1 plus needle. In this way, the first group is hooked. Then there are 5 groups. Let's hook it up together. The first 2 circles are hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The 13th circle to the 17th circle are like one. It is to hook a short stitch on each stitch. Each loop is 42 stitches. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. These twins are all short stitches. Let's hook it up together. The 17th circle has been hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The 8th circle is composed of 6 groups, 5 short stitches, composed of 1 subtractive stitch. 1 hurdle is 36 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Crochet 5 more short stitches. This is the first short stitch with the marker buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. The fifth short stitch. 1 subtraction stitch. To reduce the stitches, select the outer half stitches of the 2 stitches, that is, the 1.5 needles close to ourselves. Pick the outer half of the 2 stitches at the same time. Crochet with 1 loop. Complete these 2 outer half needles. There are an outer loop on the crochet hook. Crochet hook with 1 more loop. Finish the remaining 2 coils. This is a minus needle. Subtracting stitches means adding 2 stitches, the meaning of combining into 1 pin. In this way, the first group is hooked. The second group of 5 short stitches. One subtraction stitch. The second group has been hooked. Then there are 4 groups. Let's hook it up together. The 8th circle is hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The 19th circle is composed of 6 groups, 4 short stitches, composed of 1 subtractive stitch. 1 hurdle is 30 stitches. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Crochet for more short stitches. Add the marker button here on the first short stitch. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. 1 subtraction stitch. The first group has been hooked. Then there are 5 groups. Let's hook it up together. The 19th circle has been hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The 20th lap is composed of 6 groups, 3 short needles, composed of 1 subtractive stitch, 1 total 24 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Crochet 3 more short stitches. Add the marker button here on the first short stitch. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. 1 subtraction stitch. The first group has been hooked. Then there are 5 groups. Let's hook it up together. The 20th circle has been hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pulled pins. The 21st circle is composed of 6 groups. 2 short needles, composed of 1 subtractive stitch. 1 total is 18 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. 1 subtraction stitch. The first group has been hooked. Group 2. 2 short needles. 1 subtraction stitch. The second group has been hooked. Then there are 4 groups. Let's hook it up together. The 21st circle has been hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. End of extraction. This one loop tightens the pull pins. The 22nd circle is composed of 6 groups. 1 short needle, composed of 1 subtractive stitch. 1 total is 12 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. 1 subtraction stitch. The first group has been hooked. Then there are 5 groups. Let's hook it up together. The 22 loops are hooked. Let's not lead here. Let's add filling cotton first. After adding the filling cotton, we will pull it out. After adding the filling cotton, take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Lead to end the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The 23rd circle is composed of 6 minor stitches. First hook a standing stitch. Adjust the other half of the pulled stitch. And the other half stitch of the second stitch. Hook the first subtracting stitch. Add mark buckle. The second subtraction stitch. This circle is all reduced stitches. Let's hook it up together. The 23 circles are hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Lead to end the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. Leave a dotted line to seal it. Disconnected. The method of sealing is: sew 1 circle around the other half of the last circle. Tighten the thread while sewing. After sewing, hide the thread from the middle here. Tie another knot. Hide the knot again. Cut off excess thread. This way the head is completed. Now we use color 1 thread to hook the body. The first loop is a circular stitch. 6 short stitches. The first short stitch. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch, the fourth short stitch. Fifth short stitch, sixth short stitch. Tighten the coil. Cut the hidden thread. Take off the marking buckle. And the extraction at the marked buckle position. This circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The second circle is composed of 6 additional stitches. Now let's hook a standing stitch. First, hook the first additional stitch at the leading place. To add stitches is to hook 2 short stitches into the same stitch. We add the marker buckle here on the first stitch. The second additional needle. The third plus needle. Then there are 3 additional stitches. Let's hook it up together. The second circle is hook. Take off the marking buckle. And the extraction at the marked buckle position. This circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The third circle is composed of 6 groups. It consists of 1 short stitch and 1 extra stitch. 1 hurdle is 18 needles. Now let's hook the first group, then hook the first standing stitch first. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. 1 plus needle. The first group has been hooked. In the second group, 1 short stitch and 1 extra stitch. The second group has been hooked. Then there are 4 groups. Let's hook it up together. The third circle is hooked. Take off the marking buckle. And the extraction at the marked buckle position. This circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The fourth circle is composed of 6 groups, composed of 2 short stitches and 1 plus stitch. 1 hurdle 24 needles. Now let's hook the first group, then hook the first standing stitch first. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch and the first extra stitch. The first group has been hooked. The second group of 2 short stitches. 1 plus needle. The second group has been hooked. Then there are 4 groups. Let's hook it up together. The fourth circle is hook. Mark button again. And the extraction at the marked buckle position. This circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The fifth circle is composed of 6 groups of 3 short stitches and 1 plus stitch. 1 hurdle is 30 stitches. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch, the third short stitch, and the first extra stitch. The first group has been hooked. The second group of 3 short stitches. 1 plus needle. The second group has been hooked. Then there are 4 groups. Let's hook it up together. The fifth circle is hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle and of extraction. This circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The 6th circle to the 10th circle are 1. It is to hook a short stitch on each stitch. Each circle is 3 done stitches. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. These turns are all short stitches. Let's hook it up together. The 10th circle has been hooked. Take off the marking buckle and place it in the position of the marking buckle. Lead to end the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The 10th circle is composed of 6 groups, composed of 3 short stitches and 1 subtractive stitch. 1 total 24 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch, then the 1 subtracting stitch. The first group has been hooked. Then there are 5 groups. Let's hook it up together. The 10th circle has been hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle and of extraction. This circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. Circle 10-6. It is to hook a short stitch on each stitch. Each turn is 2 10th stitches. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. This circle is all short stitches. Let's hook it up together. The 10-6 circle is hooked. Take off the marking buckle and place it in the position of the marking buckle and of extraction. This circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The 17th circle is composed of 6 groups, composed of 2 short stitches and 1 subtractive stitch. 1 total is 18 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. 1 subtraction stitch. The first group has been hooked. Then there are 5 groups. Let's hook it up together. Now we use the 1 color thread to hook the 2 hands. The first loop of circular stitch, 6 short stitches. the first short stitch. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. The fifth short stitch. Sixth short stitch. Tighten the coil. Cut off the thread. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Lead to end the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The second circle is composed of 6 additional stitches. One total is 12 needles. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first additional stitch at the leading place. To add stitches is to hook 2 short stitches into the same stitch. Add a marker buckle here on the first stitch. The second additional needle. The third plus needle. The fourth plus needle. The fifth plus needle. Sixth additional needle. The second circle is hook. Take off the marking buckle and place it in the position of the marking buckle. The quad ends this one circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The third circle to the 10th circle are like one. It is to hook a short stitch on each stitch. Each loop is 12 short stitches. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. These twins are all short stitches. Let's hook it up together. After the 10th circle is hooked, let's now lead first. Add filling cotton first. You don't need to add too much filling cotton, especially cover the top. There's no need for stuffing on top. After adding, we take off the marker buckle on the marker buckle. The position leads to the end of this one lap. Tighten the pull-out pins. The 10th circle is after folding the fabric in half. Crochet. At the same time, pass 2 symmetrical stitches to hook the short stitch. One is a total of 6 short needles. First hook a standing stitch. Crochet. Pass through the first stitch and the last stitch at the same time. Hook the first short stitch. Cross the crochet hook through the second stitch at the same time. Well, the second to last stitch. Hook the second short stitch. We use this method to finish hooking the circle in one go. In this way, our hand is completed. One of us needs a total of 2 hands to hook. Now we use the 1 color thread to hook the 2 feet. The first loop a circular stitch, 6 short stitches. The first short stitch. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. The fifth short stitch. Sixth short stitch. Tighten the coil. Cut off the thread. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. Lead to end the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The second circle is composed of 6 additional stitches. One has a total of 1 inch needles. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first additional stitch at the leading place. To add stitches is to hook 2 short stitches into the same stitch. Add a marker buckle here on the first stitch. The second additional needle. The third plus needle. The fourth plus needle. The fifth plus needle. Sixth additional needle. The second circle is hook. Take off the mark. Buckle at the mark buckle position. Lead to end the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The third circle is composed of 3 groups, 3 short needles, 1 plus stitches. 1 total of 15 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. 1 plus needle. The first group has been hooked. Then there are 2 groups. Let's hook it up together. The third circle is hooked. Take off the marking buckle and place it in the position of the marking buckle. Lead to end the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The fourth circle to the 11th circle are like one. It is to hook a short stitch on each stitch. Each circle is 14 stitches. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. These twins are all short stitches. Let's hook it up together. The Tenani circle has been hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Mark the location of the buckle. At the end of the pull-out, tighten the pull-out stitches in 1 circle. Here we have filling cotton. Filling cotton is added to the upper part. There is no need to add the small part of one above. So you don't need to add too much filling cotton here. After adding the stuffing, let's hook the 6th circle. The 12th circle is the crochet ball after folding the fabric in half. At the same time, pass 2 symmetrical stitches to hook the short stitch. One has a total of 8 short needles. First hook a standing stitch. Crochet hook through first stitch. Okay, last stitch, hook the first short stitch. Crochet hook through second stitch, and the second to last pin. Hook the second short stitch. We follow this method to hook up the circle in one go. In this way, our foot is completed. One needs the hook to fit in total. Now we use the 1 color thread. Come on, this crown on the hook. First is the first circle. First hook 32, a locking stitch. Now let's start with the stitches. The starting method of lock stitch is like this. Form a circle. Then put the thread here one thread. Pull out of the circle. Like this, and then pull it back. Just pull it to this place, and it will be a suitable length. This is the start of the lock stitch. The lock stitch is a crochet stitch wrapped around one loop. Bring out this loop on the crochet hook. The V-shaped form here is a locking pin. We add a marking buckle here on the first lock stitch. This first lock pin adds a mark buckle. The second lock stitch. The third lock stitch. We need to crochet 32 stitches in total. After 32 lock stitches have been crocheted, we return to the second to last pin here. Pick half a stitch to make a short crochet. Pick half stitch down and crochet short stitch. One is a total of 30 crochets and one short stitch. Now we're at the second to last stitch here. Hook the first short stitch. This is the first short stitch. We add mark buckle. The second short stitch. They all pick half a stitch to hook. Hook straight to the first stitch. One is a total of 3 one-short needles. Pick half a stitch like this. Short hook needle. Let's finish crocheting 31 short stitch together. Now hook to the first stitch. Here we take off the marker buckle. Pick half a stitch at the mark buckle position. Hook the last short stitch. This completes the first lap. The second round is to hook one lock stitch first. Turn it over again. Hook 3 groups in this direction. 7 short stitches and 1 extra stitch. Finally, hook 3 separately. Crochet 7 short stitches. One total of 34 needles. Now let's hook the first group first. 7 short stitches and 1 extra stitch. Here we are crocheting through. Hook through the entire stitch of 1. This is the first pin. Let's hook the first short stitch first. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. The fifth short stitch. Sixth short stitch. The seventh short stitch. 1 plus needle. To add stitches is to hook 2 short stitches into the same stitch. In this way, the first group is hooked. The second group of 7 short stitches. One plus needle. The second group has been hooked. The third group of 7 short stitches. One plus needle. In this way, the 3 groups are hooked. Finally, hook 7 short stitches. The last short stitch, it is hooked at this position of the mark buckle. In this way, the second loop is completed. This is what it looks like after hooking it up. It is an arc. The third circle is hook a lock stitch first. Flip over. Crochet 7 short stitches. 1 plus stitch, 8 short stitches, 2 plus stitches. Minus 1 short stitches and 1 extra stitch. There are 7 short stitches and 1 is a 38 stitch. Now let's crochet 7 short stitches. First, add the marker button here on the first short stitch. One plus needle. Eight short stitches. Two plus needles. Eight short stitches. One plus needle. 7 short stitches. Last stitch, it is hooked here at the position where the buckle is marked. In this way, the third loop is completed. Now let's hook the fourth loop. The fourth circle ends. These places are all hooked with now one colored thread. The one loop here is what we just finished hooking. The third circle. The fourth circle is the same first hook. Here is the first stitch, which is the long stitch. So here we need to hook the fourth. Lock stitch. After hooking 2 lock stitches, this. Here in the same pin here. The first pin is turned over. Hook 1 long stitch here on the first stitch. After hooking 1 long stitch, hook 3 locking stitches. Then return to the first locking needle and pick the mixing needle here. Hook a pulling needle. Then on the same pin. That is, hook a long needle here on the first stitch. Change the thread after hooking. Hook 7 short stitches, down. After hooking 7 short needles, change the thread. Repeat the same hook method just now. After crocheting this one, crochet 9 short stitches. Let's demonstrate this part first. Now let's hook this part of the fourth circle first. This is hooked with thread number 2. So we just made the last short stitch here. In the last step, here we have to change the line. The way to change the line is just hook the thread in directly. Draw lines like one. We're going to draw the last step of stitching. I started the change. Now we hook 2 locking stitches. Flip over. Now we are here on the first pin. Hook a long needle. 3 lock pins. Return to the first locking stitch, then hook the 1 pulling stitch here. Then hook a long stitch on the same stitch here. This is the first pin of the third circle here. It's all done here on the first pin. While hooking, let's put these 2 unnecessary threads together. Put it on the crochet hook. This way you can hide the line. And this one root. This one number 1 color thread. Just use everything you can't use. Now all the unused thread is hidden on the crochet hook. Now let's hook a long stitch. The long needle is a crochet winding 1 loop. Bring the 1 loop through the first stitch. There are now 3 loops on the crochet hook. Bring 1 more stitch to the crochet hook to finish the first 2 stitches. There are now 2 loops on the crochet hook. Bring 1 more loop to the crochet hook to finish the 2 loops. This is a long needle. Then hook 3. Lock stitch. Return to the first lock stitch and pick half a stitch here. Hook 1 guide needle. This is the first lock stitch. Pick half a needle. The pulling needle is a crochet hook that is directly wound around the thread. Bring out this loop on the crochet hook. This is 1. This one part of the dog-tooth needle is sharp. Then we have the same pin here. Let's hook a long needle. In this, because next, we use the number 1 color thread to hook it. So at the last step, here, we will change it back to the original number 1 color thread. In this way, this is how this one part is completed. Then we use the 1 color thread to hook 7 short stitches. When crocheting, Put these threads on the crochet hook. The first short stitch, the second short stitch, the third short stitch, the fourth short stitch, the fifth short stitch, sixth short stitch. In the last step of the seventh short stitch, we're going to change the number to color thread back, because this place is hooked with 2 color threads. The last step here is to change the thread of number 2 and color. Next pin, here. In the next stitch here, we're going to hook a long stitch. 3 lock pins return countdown. Return to the first lock pin, hook a pulling needle, here. Then hook a long stitch in the same stitch. Crochet 1 loop. Crochet through next stitch. Come out with 1 coil. There are now 3 loops on the crochet hook. Crochet belt 1. Complete the first 2 coils with 1 coil. There are now 2 loops on the crochet hook. Crochet hook with 1 more loop. Finish the remaining 2 coils. This is a long needle. It's this one long needle. Then we hook 3 locking stitches. The first lock needle, the second lock stitch, the third lock stitch. Then return to the first lock needle. Pick half a needle. Hook a pulling needle. Make a long stitch in the same stitch, here. In the last step, we change back to the second color thread to hook. Because the next 9 short stitches, it needs to be hooked with thread number 2. In this way, this one part is completed. Now let's hook 9 short stitches, down. When hooking, put all these unnecessary threads on the crochet hook. This way there will be no straight lines on the back. It's all hidden in this one. We can cut these threads. We have finished crocheting 9 short stitches. Then go to the last step of the 9 short stitch here. Then I change back to the second color thread to hook the one part. This is the 9 short stitch. Put back the thread of color number 2. In this last step, draw here. Here is the first. Crochet 1 long needle and that needle. That is to hook 2 long needles in the same stitch. Now let's crochet a long needle and add stitches. It means hooking 2 long needles in the same stitch. This is the first long stitch of the stitch. Now hook the second long stitch. That's it. Then hook this one part. 3 lock pins. Return to the first locking stitch and hook the one pulling stitch here. Then hook a long stitch here and add stitches to the next stitch. Here is the next pin, here. 1 long needle plus needle. It means hooking 2 long needles in the same stitch. Then, We need to change back to the one color thread to hook 9 short stitches. So in the last step, we change back to the number 1 color thread. In this way, the one part is hooked up. Then hook 9 short stitches. Next method, it's followed by the same thing as one here. Just reverse the order. 9 short stitches. This is the 9 short stitch. I have to change back to the second color thread to hook it. Another 1, this part. It's done in the same stitch. After one long stitch, there are 3 lock stitches. Return to the first lock needle, pick a half needle and hook 1 pulling needle. Hook 1 long needle into the same stitch. The last step is to change back to the 1 color thread. This completes it here. Then hook 7 short stitches. This is the 7th short stitch. Put back the thread of color number 2. Hook the last one, this part. At the end of this pin here, that's where the buckle is marked. Hook a long needle. 3 lock pins. Return to the first lock pin. Hook a pulling needle. Hook 1 long needle into the same stitch. Finally, we hook another guide needle. Broken line, hidden line. Here the thread we use to sew. It needs to be the same as the line on the head. It's the 1 color thread. So here's the color line number 2. We don't have to stay long, because there is no need to leave this line. Let's just hide it. We need to leave more of this 1 colored thread. It can be used for sewing. Let's hide this line. After checking, cut off the thread. In this way, the crown is finished. We can cut this off on the back. Now let's hook these 3 strawberries. The main part is marked with red lines. Now let's hook the main part first. With red line, start the first loop in a circular stitch. For short stitches. This is a loop stitch. The first short stitch. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. Tighten the coil. Cut the thread. Pull at the mark buckle position to end this one loop. Tighten the pull-out pins. Because this circle is relatively narrow, we can push out the front here. Then tighten the pulling pins. In this way, the second circle has two groups. It consists of one short stitch and one extra stitch. One has 6 needles in total. First hook a standing stitch. Let's hook the first group first. Hook a short needle in the place where the pull is pulled out. Add mark buckle. 1 plus needle. To add stitches is to hook 2 short stitches into the same stitch. In this way, the first group of hook is completed. The second group of 1 short stitch. 1 plus needle. The second group has been hooked. Take off the marking buckle. Pull at the mark buckle position to end this one loop. Before injection, let's push this out first. Next, tighten the pulling pins. The third circle is composed of 2 groups, composed of 2 short stitches and 1 plus stitch. 1 total is 8 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the starting point and mark it. Buckle. The second short stitch. 1 plus needle. The first group has been hooked. Group 2. 2 short needles. 1 plus needle. The second group has been hooked. In this way, the third loop is completed. Take off the marking buckle and guide the answer to the end of the marking buckle. This circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The fourth circle is composed of 2 groups, composed of 3 short stitches and 1 plus stitch. 1 is a total of 10 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark hold. The second short stitch, the third short stitch. 1 plus needle. The first group has been hooked. Group 2. 3 short needles. 1 plus needle. The fourth circle is hooked. Take off the marking buckle. End the extraction at the mark buckle position. This circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The fifth circle is composed of 2 groups, composed of 4 short stitches and 1 plus stitch. One total is 12 needles. Now let's hook the first group. First hook a standing stitch. Hook the first short stitch at the leading place. Add mark buckle. The second short stitch. The third short stitch. The fourth short stitch. 1 plus needle. The first group has been hooked. Group 2. 4 short stitches. One plus needle. After the fifth circle is hooked, take off the marker buckle. Pull out of the marker buckle position, and the circle. Tighten the pull-out pins. The sixth circle is composed of 6 minor stitches. First hook a standing stitch. We can stop stuffing cotton at this time. You can also crochet 3 reduction stitches. Come again, add filling cotton. Now we can first crochet 3 reducing stitches. This is the first minor stitch. To reduce the stitches, select the other half stitches of the 2 stitches. Bring one coil over here. Bring another coil over here. This is a minor stitch. Add mark buckle. The second subtraction stitch. The third minor stitch. Here we can add filling cotton first. Just that one. After adding, crochet the remaining 3 subtraction stitches. After this one circle is hooked, pull out of the marker buckle position, and this circle. Tighten the lead and pull out the broken pins. Give your mouth another treatment. When dealing with the mouth, use the line. Sew one circle here on the other half stitch of the last circle. Tighten the thread while sewing. Sewing to the end. Thread the thread here in the middle. Tighten the thread. Tie a knot here. Hide the knot again. In this way, the main part of the strawberry is completed. Now we use 2 strands of white thread. Let's sew some dots on the strawberries. Just split it into 2 shares. Just sew these points casually. It would be better if the irregularities are more uniform. The distance between each point is the distance between one circle and one circle. Sew vertically downwards. Don't pull the thread too tight. After sewing, tie a knot at the bottom. Just hide the thread inside. Now we use the dark green line. Like hook strawberry leaf. First of all, needle up in a circle. Hook 5 groups like this. This is a leaf. The hooking method for each leaf is to hook it first. For lock pins, return to the second to last lock stitch. Hook 1 guide needle down. 1 short needle, 1 medium length needle. Then again in the circle. This is our ring. In this loop of the needle, hook a pull-on needle. This is 1 leaf. One needs to hook 5 such leaves in total. Just 5, such a cycle. Now let's start with circular stitching. Crochet hook through the circle, form. Come over with another coil. Now let's hook for locking stitches. The first lock stitch, the second lock stitch, the third lock stitch, the fourth lock needle. Return the second to last. For the stitches, pick half a needle and hook a pull-out needle. This is the second to last pin. Hook a pulling needle. Pick half a stitch 1 stitch down. Hook a short stitch. Place 1 more stitch. That is the stitch of the first lock stitch. Pick a half needle and hook 1 medium length needle. Medium length needles are made with thread and crochet hooks. Make 1 loop with crochet hook. Pass this half stitch. Bring 1 coil over here. First there are 3 loops on the crochet hook. Crochet hook with 1 more loop. Take all 3 coils. This is a medium length needle. Now the hook is here. We want to be in this. Crochet through this. Circle. Bring 1 coil over here. Hook a pulling needle. In this way, 1 leaf is completed. One needs to hook 5 such leaves in total. Now let's demonstrate it for the second time. For lock pins, return to the second to last lock stitch. Hook a pulling needle. 1 short needle. 1 medium length needle. Go through the circle again. Hook a pulling needle. This is the second leaf. We need to hook a total of 5 leaves like this. Let's finish hooking the remaining 3 pieces together. After the last leaf is laid, let's tighten the coil. This is what it looks like after collecting it. Here we can disconnect. Thread this thread again. Wear it from the center point to the back here. You've fixed the head. If you need to use Crochet, then leave this line here. If I use glue, they hit the threads inside. Then cut the thread. In this way, the strawberry leaves are completed. Now we use glue to glue these 2 parts. Connect. Just heat it with glue and put some glue here. Just glue it on here. We can also apply glue on the edge of the leaf. This strawberry is finished. One of us needs to hook 3 strawberries in total. Now let's assemble the strawberry two-horned dinosaur. First, let's find the top of the head. The position of this line, and this location right below. And the front and rear of the body. We usually put the lid on the back. Then we confirm. This will place the 10 to 14 circle of the head just below. The position of 1 circle here is the same as the 21 circle of the body corresponds here. 续切. We can determine the 2 sides after arranging it like this. Also determine the position of the 2 sides. You can refer to this position when sewing. Right in front here. The front of the bottom is aligned with here. Back. Directly below here is aligned with here behind. Next we determine the position of the eyes. Eyes are glued to the ground. Circle 9 to circle 10. The distance between 6 pins. Next step. 退袖. This hangs. The position of the crown is the exact center. This is between the 1/6 circle and the 1/7 circle. Align here on the center line. This pointed position is aligned with the center line. The two sides along the 5th lap. To the position between the 16th circle. Equivalent to this. Just here, 1 point forward, 1 circle further than here. After we determine the positions of these 3 points, just follow this. Just sew in this direction. Then the strawberry ends. This strawberry is in the middle of the 5th to 6th circles. Hand position. The 2 strawberries above are between the 13th circle and the 4th circle. Here, there is a distance of 8 stitches between the strawberries. After we complete these steps first, then sew the hands and feet. Now let's put the head and body here. Stitch up. The locations just identified above. Let's make a mark with a needle first. Then tack these things down. It will be easier to sew this way. Now let's sew the head and body. Connected. This one's directly behind, align directly behind. In this way. This is not aligned with the body. Just say that the right behind and the front are not aligned. Does not matter. When the time comes to sew my hands, I will depend on the specific instructions. Just adjust the position. If you don't like sewing, you can also use glue to stick it. Try to prevent secret 1 point. Thread tightened. Let this head be forward. Downward. Can be controlled by the tightness of the thread. For example, we want him to lower your head a little bit. We can do a few more stitches here in the front. Tighten the thread. We can be here in front. Sew a few more stitches and pull down. Let his head be lowered. Sew 2 more stitches, forward. The way the stitch is done now is to control its direction. After sewing, let's hide the thread. Tie a long thread at the bottom. This thread needs to be tightened. In this way, the head and body are sewn together. Our head is here. The position of the center line directly ahead. Check to see if one is aligned with the body. If it's not aligned, you can adjust it again below. If they are not aligned, we are already finding the center line of one. This doesn't matter. Now let's sew this hanging. First sew these 3 points. Then sew the middle section together. Thread the needle directly to the center point here. Trim the same hole again here. Come in. Then to the 3rd point. Tighten first. There is also one more sharp corner going down. Because we want to ensure this place is close to the head. Check if the location is correct compared to 1. After the 3 points are determined, we will sew this one. Let's look at the middle section. See where his position is. That's where we put the needle. In the same pin here. Same hole here. Needle withdrawal and needle insertion. The thread should be tightened. We also find the corresponding position. As long as you determine those 3 important points, the other locations are easier to find. Look where it's moving. In the same place. The ring is here. Just like this, the sewing is finished. After sewing, we hide the thread here on the back. Hide this thread too. You can wrap it in with a crochet hook. In this way, the can is completely sewn. Now let's glue the eyes on with the tape after heating it. Don't apply 纯麻日. After gluing, press one button. Let's talk about the other side. Be careful not to burn your hands. Excess glue. Like this, we can wait for it to dry. Just take it off again. This way the eyes will be glued together. Then let's stick it. Let's put this one strawberry. Strawberries on top. We are too shy. This needle is used to assist in determining the position. The direction of both sides must also be symmetrical. They are all facing outwards and upwards. This way the strawberries are fixed. Then we will fix the hands and feet. Now we come. Suturing hands and feet. The hands are sewn between the 4th and 10th circles of the body. Dislocation. Two sides and two sides should be symmetrical. How to determine symmetry? Just look at the two hands merged. Is it a handover place? It's right here in the center. Only in this way can we guarantee the position of the two hands is symmetrical, as long as one. The feet are in the hands. The following is between the 6th circle and the 13th circle. It can be done after sewing it like this. And our hands are here. Sew 2 more stitches here below. Connect with the body to 1. This way your hands won't stick out. Now let's start sewing. Now let's sew up the hands and feet. Let's sew the feet first. Sew the top and bottom to point first. Sew in the middle. This way the position won't be off track. Just sew more twin stitches in the middle. If this line is long enough, we can also use this thread to sew hands directly. Just sew your hands down. We'll wait for the next one with this thread left in our hand. Just hide it. There are 2 places like the bottom and the top of the seam. Then sew in the middle. After we finish sewing, we will put our hands together. This is to make his hands merge like this. So here we give him more twin stitches. Get into one's lower position. Find the corresponding location. Long line at bottom. Then hide the thread inside. Now we use the one colored thread at the third point of the hand. Between the second and third turns of the hand, shear 4 lines on the upper part. Between the second circle and the third circle, the top half. After laying it out, tie the long thread. This is what it will look like after finishing. In the upper part of the third circle to the fourth circle at the corner. Sew 5 lines. We can sew the middle one first. The line directly above. Let's sew the 2 sides again. Hide the thread after sewing. This is what it looks like after playing it. In this way, the strawberry 3-horned dinosaur is all finished. Now we use the one color thread. Come here, hands and feet. Sew a few lines. The hand here is above the second and third circles. Sew 4 lines. in the upper part. The distance between the lines should be the same. Don't pull the thread too tight. After sewing, hide the piece at the bottom. Short trim. This thread can be stuffed in. This way your hands are finished sewing. Then we sew the feet. The corner is at. Sew 5 lines on the second and third circles. We can sew the top piece straight first. 写涂抹下来的。The middle is the distance between true and false. As of this one, don't pull the thread too tight. After applying, add a long line at the bottom. In this way, the strawberry 3-horn dragon is completed.